Hey everybody, it's Sean Cummings with my wife Cathy here at the Gourmet Grill for Buy for Less, and today we're making barbecued baked beans. And I tell you, where we're from, it's kind of a religion. And the best barbecued baked beans I've ever had in my life are at a place called Smokestack Barbecue in Kansas City, and another place called Gates has a second run chain. But Smokestack way better. I actually happen to go to school with those girls. Pretty girls,
Gates is better.
by the way. Anyway, we'll get started on this thing. If you don't have time to make all of this stuff from scratch, this is the way to do it. We're going to start off with just a can of Bush's baked beans. Cathy will throw them in the pan there. Pan's already a little warm, so they're probably going to make a little noise. No big deal. A little bit of onions. You got to give this thing normal flavor that people would expect out of barbecue beans. And a little bit of brown sugar.
Give a little sweetness to it.
Now, a little touch of mustard is not going to hurt anything either. And all of this stuff basically kind of just gets stewed in. It's really not that big of a deal. Now, what makes barbecue beans wonderful is you take brisket meat and you chop it and throw it in. This needs to be almost like a meal of its own. Now, what the old barbecue places do back home is they'll throw their own sauce in it, all this other stuff, all the meats in there, and they bake it in crocks in these old smoky ovens. And they have a phenomenal taste to them. It's absolutely wonderful. So to get that look, you don't want your meat to be really pretty. You want it to be kind of shredded, kind of chopped, all that stuff. Now, right now, we basically have meat and beans. What we got to do to change that is we'll add some Head Country BBQ, which is absolutely marvelous. Actually made here in Oklahoma, and we're just going to stir this in. If you let this stuff cook for maybe 20, 30 minutes, it'll caramelize some of the sugar that's in the barbecue sauce because there's a fair amount. This is the best side to bring to a barbecue, and you'll notice we'll be making it here in about 3 minutes. The big suggestion, instead of just bringing this in a pot and just going and doing your thing, I cooked up a couple of steaks in the meantime, and we're just I pulled them off of the rack over in the meat department, and we're just gonna throw those on top of the beans. You can dip them into the beans, I don't really care. Whatever you wanna do to make them look pretty, but the beans are done as soon as they start cooking. You'll see the bubbles coming around the outside, the sugars are breaking down. As soon as the sugars are broken down, you can actually serve it. Now, I would recommend slow cooking this a little bit longer. Cathy would never put big old pieces of fat like this and stuff. But I would.
There you go.
That's your flavor. That's the actual real flavor. And you know what? If it was real barbecue, nobody would ever take that kind of stuff out because they'd know that's where it came from.
Well, I wouldn't know it was there.
That's the reason she looks like she does and I look like I do. All right, so pretty easy and simple. It's coming to the boil back here in the back. Let's figure out a way to make this look pretty and serve it. You can do it in a crock, no big deal like everybody else does, or I want to do something a little bit different. We're going to lay this out on a plate. And the big thing is get all that meat up on top. Don't be bashful. You're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. A couple little steaks on there. And I don't care what barbecue you go to, everybody's going to love that monster.
We've got dinner tonight.
Maybe a little greenery. For these and other recipes, BuyForLessOK.com.